I'm going to do a quick run through of the Vittle app, which is a screencasting app. Show you some of the features. And I'm going to just pull up one that I already had started here. Um, so, a couple of things that make Vittle really unique as a screencasting app are that you just saw I could zoom in and zoom out, but even better than that, I'm circling things. If I zoom in on that and zoom back out, you can see it holds the ink where it was, and this is the only app I've run across so far that can do this. I may be wrong, there might be some other things, but anyway, let me run through some of the features that Vittle has. So the first thing is that you can see that I imported a picture. This is a really valuable way to, as a teacher, as a way to use this app as I'm making videos for my kids. So I'll take a picture and then I'll import it into here. Okay, up along the top, you can see there are 5 main categories of things you can do. And the select one is the first one I'll tell you about. Because if you have a picture that is put in sideways or backwards, you can move it around like that. Okay. And then also you could select and move around writing. The next one is really cool, and I've only seen this on Vittle as well. Maybe Explain Everything does this too, but is the point feature. So it gives you a laser pointer. This is awesome when I'm using this on my board in front of my kids, or also if I want to explain something. Uh, Before I had to circle it and then undo it, where now I can just point to it and say, okay, let's read right here together. And I love that feature. And then add. You can see that's where you add photos from your library. We have draw, and the drawing is really awesome. As you may have noticed already, the opacity of my writing, you can see through it. This is the only screencasting app that I know of that can do this. This is really cool, where you can see through and you can highlight things. Okay, so by tapping up here and draw again, I can adjust my thickness and opacity, and then I can save some of these if I want to get to them quickly. All right, so if I adjust my opacity down to 1, now all of a sudden, see it's even lighter. And if I go all the way up to 100%, now I'm drawing like normal. Okay, and then erase. When you click on that, it'll give you some options of erase all ink or erase page. Also, if you just tap it one time, then you can erase the lines with your finger. Okay. Right over here, here are your 4 main colors on your palette. By clicking on these or tapping on them, you can change to infinite possibilities of colors, which is really cool. Over here, here's your undo button, your redo button. Your lock button is what locks the picture into place so that while you're drawing or doing something, it doesn't move. And then finally, the record and stop. Another thing that I love about this app is that if you make mistakes, you don't have to start all the way over. So as you record, like let's say if I start recording something right now, if I want to pause, obviously I can click pause, okay, and start recording again. But let's say that I had a longer video and it had like 4 main parts to it. After you record that first part, it's maybe 2 or 3 minutes long, you can hit stop, okay? And I'm going to hit view so you can see what this looks like. What it did is it created a scene for me. And when I hit record again, it's going to start a new scene. So if I mess up right here on scene 2, I can just erase that part and not have to erase my entire video that I created. Also, you can, if I start recording again, I'll show you what happens here. So I start recording, and this is my second clip here. Let's say I do stop, and I go to view it. I can also edit these and move them around. So now I can delete a scene, flip-flop them. So it gives you some possibilities of editing after you're done with your video. Now this brings me to the other part of this, which is the sharing. So you can share this via email. You can save it to your camera roll, and that's what I do. I save it to my camera roll, and then once it's on my camera roll, I can upload it to my Google Drive, and I share it either through my website or you can share it through Google Classroom. Really a lot of possibilities there. You could open it in other apps. So if you use Evernote, you use another way that you share. You can also share through social media, and right over there. So if I click on share, you can see some of the options that you have to share it. So that, in a nutshell, is Vittle. It's similar to other screencasting apps, but I think there are a couple of features that really set it apart. And like I showed you, the one is the drawing feature. We can set the opacity. I think that's really great. Another thing I really love about it, which I think I showed, was that if I want to draw and I want to really zoom in on a certain part, that I can then back off, go to another part of the page, and it holds the writing in place, which I really love that feature. All right. If you have questions about this app, feel free to shoot me an email. My email is right down on the bottom of the homepage for the podcast.